just because we don't become what we think what we want to, like, it's still a part of us, even though we grow older, you know. So I think in a way, you are a pilot, you know, like you are flying something and taking people somewhere. So your dream came true.
Hi, this is Bert from Bert To The Bone, and welcome to episode 2 of the podcast with Eric, aka Sapo, founder and OG and coach of SYG. That's it, unity. Yeah. That's it. You don't feel it. You don't feel on the moment when you're on those fields. You don't feel the culture. You don't feel the language. Nothing there. It's sport, and that's why I love it, and that's why I embraced it, and I'm happy that I can be a part of it and building it together. Now I want to know something about how you think about other things there, Eric.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence. What is your opinion about that?
I think artificial intelligence is very crucial in the advancement of like our society. I'm not talking about artificial intelligence like robots and like, you know, computers that can think for themselves. Artificial intelligence is pretty much just going to be a collection of the human consciousness, right? It's like when you and I say something and you're like, oh my God, I was thinking the same thing. That's what I think that is. I think it's just it's a collective brain of everybody, of humans.
A big telepathic, you know? a big telepathic thing.
Yeah, it's like a wavelength, you know, it's like everybody thinks, you know, it's not a coincidence in a world when you have, you know, I just heard something that I thought to myself before, but I never said out loud. Like, that's significant, you know? To me, I always think it's really strange when that happens. Like when I say something in my head, and then someone next to me just says it.
Yeah.
You know? So, in terms of in the other definition of artificial intelligence, one of my absolute favorite movies growing up was Terminator.
Yeah.
So like I grew up just thinking like that's so awesome that there'd be robots one day, because I kind of grew up with a lot of different types of robots and like different types. So I was always kind of obsessed with that type of. Because it's like a man, but it's a machine, and it looks so cool. But like, yeah, like the fact that these are like machines that could think for themselves, like I just thought it was so cool, and like it's just a big part of me. So very interesting question. I didn't expect that.
What is in your opinion? What is your opinion on Elon Musk? Is it a meme or is it a real game changer?
I feel like Elon Musk is like he's like the Joe Rogan of like, he's like the Joe Rogan of business-minded people. I think people like to, you know, I know some people that are they worship him. And I think he's just like people who consider themselves nerds, right? Like people that consider themselves not athletic. They don't consider, like, you can ask somebody who's athletic, who's your hero? Oh, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. But when you ask somebody who's very like business minded and they don't care about, you know, being cool or liking sports, that's their hero. So I think he's interesting in that.
Is he a meme or is it a game changer?
I think he's more of a game changer, to be honest. Like the meme stuff, like I think that only supports his vision, because I think it just gets his face out there. When you see his face, it's synonymous with certain things like innovation. You think of Tesla, you think of what they're doing for the automotive industry. Even the recent, you know, all the Dogecoin hype. That's him. You know, all the Bitcoin hype. That's that's him being innovative, thinking outside of the box, thinking beyond what we understand as currency. You know, even all the projects that he's involved in. Think about it: space, artificial intelligence. You know, even some of his like projects that were failures, like the Boring Company. Like those are just all. Yeah, he's a game changer.
That's cool.
Short answer.
So, how will technology affect the future of our society and the way we interact?
Oh man, that's a really broad question, but I think the most important thing about technology is that it's going to give it gives a voice to people who don't normally have a channel to speak through. Yeah, because I don't want to get into like how it helps society and that.
I understand.
It's more like I think people, human beings, still don't communicate at a level that they should be. And I think what we're seeing today with like, you know, even what's happened with George Floyd and the recent conviction of Derek Chauvin, it's like that is a result of not just justice, but that's a result of communication. It's because so many people are able to voice an opinion that it cannot go unheard. So I think we'll see more of that. And I think that's the key. That's the role that technology should play in the advancement of our society as human beings. That's what I think. But of course, you know, greedy people are going to find the way to use it just to make money and not really use it for the greater good of.
That's true. That's
you know, to build a utopia, or you know, it's going to be, human beings are just they mean well, but at the end of the day, there's greed, there's envy, there's all these other things. So we can just hope for the best and hope it goes the right way.
You know, Eric, when I started with this Bert To The Bone, I really thought to myself, you know, everybody knows you about the sport and SYG and SpeedQB, and I really want to go, you know, to that part, because everybody who listen now and thought that we're going to talk only about SpeedQB, that they are wrong, because I think this is what I think that needs to be told. And here was one question, and I hope that definitely is so personal on you, but you once made a book for your dad, and once with questions for your dad. There were questions to your dad. And
wow, how do you?
What made you do that?
How do you know about that? I think I understood. You know, like I told you, like from the age of like I was 13. You know, I had very few interactions with my dad. So after 13 years old, I didn't see him until I was 18. After I was 18, I didn't see him until I was 27. So I'd seen him when I was like a boy. I had seen him when I was about to become a man, and I saw him again when I was, I guess, really a man, even though I was still very much a kid at that point. It's not exactly comfortable for me to talk to somebody. It's just weird, you know, like I'm not close to the guy, and I want to learn things about him. And I think that generation, they keep to themselves. They don't like to share their feelings too much. And I think I was at a point in my life where I was getting more in touch with that. And I guess I wanted to know more about him, because he's still a stranger, you know? So that's why I did that.
What was your the most amazing question to him?
My most amazing question. Oh, to answer your question though, that book, he never answered any of the questions.
You never?
Not yet.
You never?
No.
But you asked the question.
To be honest, I sent it to him as a challenge because I knew he wouldn't do it. Okay. So, So I guess just the question the question, I'd have to think back, but I asked him what his biggest mistake in life was.
Okay, I ask you a question, you ask him, okay?
Okay.
What was your toughest lesson in life?
Oh, you want me to answer my?
Yeah.
That's my.
I
oh, that's a question to me.
Yeah, I ask you what you ask him. What was your toughest lesson in life?
My toughest lesson in life was learning how to speak up.
Still,
it's a really. Oh, still?
No.
I learned that lesson.
Is it still is it still a lesson? Is it still something you work on, or is it something you've?
Oh no, that's something I overcame. When I was younger, believe it or not, I was very shy.
No,
actually, kind of quiet.
I don't believe that. No.
Sometimes I don't either. But like through all my life experiences, like there was one day where I knew I had to speak up because it was about something I really wanted. And I still remember what it was. And I wasn't just speaking for myself either. Like I told you, like when I want something, when I know I have a goal, like I'll throw myself to the ground to get there. And there was a period in my life where don't get me wrong, I didn't just happen to just go to apply to design school and get there. What a lot of people don't know is that I was self-taught for a very long time. I didn't have any art classes. So I had to teach myself a lot of things. So this is part of the answer to the question. It's a very deep question and a very deep answer I'm going to give you.
Sorry.
So I had to learn a lot by myself. Obviously, anybody that grows up without a dad, you got to learn how to do certain things without someone teaching you. You got to find out the hard way. As an artist, Asian parents, nowadays they love when their kids want to become creative and become artists. But my generation, not so much. You either had to be a doctor or a lawyer or a business person or something like that. And I really, really wanted to become an artist, So in my rebellion, number one, to me, rebelling is learning how to speak up. But that's kind of indirect, right? You just kind of like, no, I don't want to listen to you, so I'll do something else. There was a very specific day where I was trying to work on a portfolio so that I could apply to college. And the teacher at the time, she was a new teacher, and she wanted us to work on all this bullshit. That class was not supposed to be geared towards that. And there was other people in my class that were afraid to speak up, and they were working towards the same goal. And you got to understand, I'm 18 years old, and I tell the instructor, I pulled her aside, which is a brave thing to do. You're telling the teacher, the instructor, a professor, hey, I need to talk to you about something. And I sat her down and I said, look, I have half a year left to develop my portfolio, and I'm trying to apply to this school. It's the school of my dreams. And I was able to convince her to change her whole curriculum. So that was the very first time where I was like, whoa, like I'm able to tell a college teacher, I'm an 18-year-old kid, this is what I want. This is what the people in this classroom want. And I want you to give it to us. And she just agreed. So yeah, that's basically it. Like you want something, you got to speak up.
That's it.
That's it.
No,
not only speak up, but you gotta go for it. You gotta work for it too. You can't just say it and then not do it. And like Bert always says, no blah blah boom boom, right? So like that's my way of saying it. Like you can't just say it. You can't just say something. You gotta be about it. Like all this stuff that you see me doing, I'm not trying to show off that I'm working out every day. I'm doing it because I know it's actions. I know Sosa's watching me. I know this person's watching me. I know that person's watching me. They're counting on me to be an example. So again, it's all about actions, and you have to do also. You have to speak up, and you have to follow through, And yeah, that's really one of the hardest lessons in my life, is that learning to put those two things together. You can say stuff all day. I want to do this. I want to do that. My dream is this, right? But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with speaking up.
That's it.
And there's a lot of responsibility with just, you can't be irresponsible with dreams either.
Yeah,
because if you dream and you fail, that's one of the biggest, that's the worst thing that can happen to somebody, really, to a dreamer, is that their dream gets crushed.
Yeah, but from the other side, I advised. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
I had a question from Sosa, and he asked me this too, and I said, listen, never stop dreaming, because you have to keep that dream. And there are many people who are dreaming. The only thing why I say this is, like, many people who dream forget to act, and because a lot of dreams are flushing away because they are staying with dreams. But on the moment, and you're right, 100% right, the fear, what you get on the moment when you try to make that dream coming true, that's a hard time, because then you have to be committed. And that's where a lot of people leaving the plan, leaving the dream. They're walking away from the dream because the responsibility on that moment is so big that not everybody can carry that responsibility. And but do never forget to dream. As it doesn't matter how hard it's going to be in your life, because if you give up that dream, it doesn't matter what dream, even if it's just getting a Barbie doll or anything, it's a dream. And on the moment when that's gone in your life, I think all the I can't explain it.
I think it's also like I think I said this earlier, in that the responsibility of having a dream. Once you achieve that dream too, like that's even harder, I think, sometimes, because you also have to keep dreaming, and like you can't limit yourself to just, okay, well, now that I dreamt about this and now it's real, that doesn't mean you stop. Right? You can still dream. As you get older, I think a lot of people that are listening, they might be young and they're pursuing one dream that they've had since they were a kid. I think people like you, people like me, we've probably achieved multiple dreams by now, which is a blessing, because not everybody gets to live long enough to do that. And not everybody is fortunate to have people around them that help them achieve those dreams. And, you just kind of have to, you can't stop. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, stop, what are you going to do? You go around, and be happy with it and be satisfied. You can't just be satisfied with it,
It's
you got to keep going.
That's it. On the moment when you take that step, you have to follow it, and don't. Yeah, that's one definite thing. It's man, I think we're gonna make a 3-hour session of this, but we're not.
I mean, I don't mind, Bert. Really, I have a bit more time today if you got it, but you.
No,
and I know you're gonna go through a lot of editing too. So
no, I don't worry about that, because that's my team, Dion and Harold, who's taking care of this, and they're really doing a good job, to be honest. I really, sorry, I never swear, but I have to swear. I really fucked it up again, because after when it went down, I forgot to push the start button again to to record. But okay, Dion will. Dion. I mean, record the recording of the audio is there, but the recording of the video, there's a part missing, but everything is on there. Okay. So he will take care of that. And this is a podcast. You have to listen to a podcast. Don't watch two podcasts. That's why.
Yeah. I don't think it's important. It's not important what's on screen.
That's it. Yeah. It's a.
Although I got a new haircut just for the show.
Yeah, but it's on there. It's on there. It's maybe not for 1.5 hours, but it's definitely there for 45 minutes. So it's your connection is getting a little bit bad, but we can cut that out too. We can
okay.
We can fix that too. It's I think actually we need to stop, but I'm not going to stop, because I think there are too many questions that I still need to ask you. It's I know how I know how hard you want to be, because now we're going a little bit back to the sports, because a lot of people wants to know your vision on the sport, because a lot of people wants to know your vision. And my question is actually a question that somebody asked me a few weeks ago, and I want to ask you: do you think that SpeedQB, every player, if you have 5 people in the game, I'm sorry, we had a Sarah code thing, so I was Sarah coding today. So do you think that every player has to have their own spot on the field? If you think,
I think it really depends. You know, like some people are very good at focusing on one job. I think there are certain people who have the mind to be able to play multiple positions. Some people are forced to do that. So it's a tough question, and I'll use examples from my team. Someone like Dom, for example, I trained him to be a very specific type of killer. And I recognize that certain people are very good at focusing on one job. Not a bad thing, but I see those people as like heat-seeking missiles. You send them in, they do the job. They might walk away unscathed. They might die in the process. There are other players that, like Demo, for example, where I think there's multiple layers to their game, where they're not necessarily a back player. They're not necessarily a front player. They're a little bit more flexible in what they can do, and you have to play them to those strengths. Yeah, I mean, someone like me, you know, like where they have to be a strategist. They maybe aren't as young as they used to be. There are younger players in the team, so you take on a different role. Me, I played in front, you know, for the longest time, because I saw myself as a playmaker. You know, there was no coach, so I had to make the moves, and the support would follow. And then the game changed, where I'm not the fastest legs in the field anymore. So I take a step back, you know, and play more of like an eagle role, you know, where I can see the game happening, how everything unfolds, and make decisions on the fly. So it really, yes, I think everybody does have a position to play in the field. It takes a while to figure out what that is, and that can also change throughout the lifespan of a player, because a lot of these players, they're new. They don't know what happens to them. I've been playing for more than 10 years, and while fundamentally my style is the same, I have a lot of facets to my game where I can play like this, I can play like that, I can be defensive, I can be offensive, you know, I can be a playmaker. So it changes too.
Eric,
as you grow as a player.
I agree. I think that you need to have an own place where it starts. So I think as a player, you are a snake player, you are a cross player, a flag player, or you're a flag runner, or you're a back player. But you need to be multifunctional. But your place needs to be your. I think more people need to think about this when this sport is growing, because you cannot be an all-round. 5 all-rounders in the field doesn't work, and you know that too. It's So I think in the future that you more have teams who are really have their own spots in the field, but they need to be all-round on the moment when other spots are getting lost. You know, so
yeah. And I guess another part of the answer would be not that a front player needs to play as a back player in competition, but in practice, and this is a big tip for people on teams where you have a back player that you work with specifically, in practice, switch roles. So you understand what the other person goes through. A back player should play the position of their front player. The front player should play the position of their back player. You have to learn how to speak the language of the person that you're working with. I do that with my guys. I make them do the same thing. I've had to do the same thing, and that's where I learned it. You know,
that's how that's how you need to train too. I mean, this is the way how you need to train. Okay,
Yep.
Without calling somebody from SYG, Eric, so without calling someone from SYG, who is Eric, aka Sapo's biggest nemesis?
I don't really like to use words like nemesis, or it makes me think of enemy. But I guess I have to say competitive rival.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it probably Figgy. Simply because Figgy was around before I came around, and I think we both recognize there's a respect there in terms of our playing ability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all stood out when we were all at OG North. I think there's a mutual respect that was earned there. Despite everything, all the rivalries and whatever beefs we had after that, at the end of the day, I recognize that he's a skillful player and one of the very few players that I consider to be on my level.
And I'm 100% agree on that, because he's a brilliant player. Do you ever think, because in the last 2 years, we don't hear a lot of LTD. Do you think LTD is going to be back a part of the SpeedQB community soon? I mean, are they coming?
Oh, yeah, I think of course, you know, without a doubt, you know, I've been talking to Soto. Here's the thing though, and this is where it gets challenging for them. SYG, from a personal experience, I've had to rebuild the team about 3 times. LTD is going to have to go through a rebuilding phase because with COVID happening, I think a lot of teams are going to be missing certain players, or they might not come back. So that's going to be the challenge for them. They'll be back. They'll be here. But is it going to be the same LTD that we've seen in the past? Because outside looking in as a commentator, you know, let's forget that I'm SYG.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair to say that a lot of teams have found the weakness in their armor. Union's found it. SYG has found it, because LTD was one of the first puzzles in the game. Like, you know, they're not known to be super aggressive. They're known to be more of a tactical defensive team. And the old roster, meaning the Figgy, Soto, Gabe, Manny, Matt Miyashiro roster, I don't think we're going to see that roster anymore. And I think also on their end, that style of play has been figured out. So there's going to be a lot of rebuilding they got to do there. I've been hearing through the grapevine that they've been recruiting, and they've been recruiting from a very reputable source of players. But look, it all boils down to the strength in their leadership. If their leadership can pull it together, then they'll succeed. If life is just taking people in different directions, then it's going to be a challenge.
I hope we're going to see them. I really hope we're going to see them on the big tournaments that we're going to organize.
Yeah, I tell David all the time, I hope I see you guys in Europe. I would love to see how the European players deal with a style like that. You know, I'd love to see how they deal with the European style of play. And, you know, they're used to a smaller field, you know. Likewise, for the Europeans, they're used to a bigger field. So there's a lot of unanswered questions about what competition worldwide really looks like. And hopefully at the end of this year, we'll get some answers.
Me too.
We get to all play together in a world championship.
Oh no, we got. Stop hoping. Let's do it. I mean, I've got enough of hoping that virus is going away, but it's not way. But I'm stop hoping. I mean, we need this year. We need to have that global championship clear. So even if I have to call, even if I have to call everybody, but we need to clear this, because if this is not in my life this year, I'm gonna have a very bad year. I mean, this is taking too long.
Me too.
Me too. But I really again, this is an invitation to LTD. I wish they are there on the global championships, and any way how I can help or anything, I'm open there, and I think you too. But I think they belong. I think they belong at the global championships, and it would be a pity if it's not possible. But I think as a team, they belong at the global championships.
Yeah, I mean, like I shared earlier, like no matter what, I'm always very proud of where I'm from. And at the end of the day, I'm also, as an airsoft team, we represent California, you know, represent Los Angeles. And I see LTD as part of that too. So, you know, I know I posted recently a comment about, you know, Los Angeles and California being the Mecca. I don't necessarily mean that we're the best. What I mean is that
it's
California and Los Angeles, I'm hoping that, you know, they have a sense of pride and identity of where this comes from, you know, and I want that story to be told, and I want them to be able to represent that as well, which is why, like, my personal mission right now, aside from the worldwide efforts, at least at home here in Cali, whether it's in SoCal, whether it's NorCal. I mean, next week we're actually going up to NorCal to touch base with a lot of the NorCal teams, and I'd love to see a lot of these Californian teams like Asylum, you know, like Savages, like Tacos, eventually go play worldwide too. So I think, you know, it's a never-ending mission for me to like keep growing the culture and meeting the people. Yeah.
Eric, this is maybe a very hard question, but if you could build a team from, doesn't matter what teams, what would be your dream team? And you have to pick 7 players.
7 players. Can they be players that
they can play?
They have to be current.
They can play wherever. Players who are playing now.
Okay, only players now. Am I part of the team or no?
It doesn't matter. It's your team. So not only SYG. I mean, just.
Okay, let's leave me out of it because I want to give more room to name those 7. Right?
Yeah.
If I could coach a team of 7,
yeah,
like an all-star team.
Yeah.
Okay, this is who I would pick. I would pick Maggot. I would pick Piggy. I would pick. Wait, you're saying no SYG members?
No, it doesn't matter. If you want one,
okay.
It doesn't matter.
This is one of those questions where I literally have to sit down and I would draw a bunch of scenarios. And you caught me off guard here, but just based on talent alone, like if you told me I can just make whatever team I want with whoever. Okay, so Maggot, Biggie, Demo, Demi. Oh, this is really tough because I feel like I'm going to leave certain people out. How many did I name already? 4?
4.
I have 3 left.
Maggot, Piggy, Demo, Demi.
Trying to think what gaps I still have.
Well,
here.
Demi is CQB Junkie, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, CQB Junkie. I'm trying to think of other players from other teams that I would pick. I'll just throw Union Young on there just because.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could make him really dangerous in the field. So that leaves 2 more?
Yeah, 2 more.
Sorry, I'm taking a long time here for the last 2. I'll throw DJ in there.
Yeah.
That leaves 1.
That leaves 1.
You know what? I'm gonna throw myself in there because I feel like if I wasn't able to be on the field with these people, I would feel too nervous. So I would go with that. Yeah, I'd put myself as the number 7.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sorry for leaving anybody out. I could make multiple teams if I could pick. If you said 3 teams, I can make 3 different scenarios.
Yeah, but I think what I think, Eric, is one of our responsibilities, and my goal is that we, and now in a few years we have to pick and make a dream team and travel around the world with that team so everybody can compete with that team. And I think that's something it's an all-star team. That's what SpeedQB is, you know. That's my end goal. What I think that SpeedQB is, that everybody can experience all those players, and maybe if you asked me per country, I would have been able to give you a better, more well-rounded answer. No,
I think everybody had named.
I like it this way. I mean, and that's cool because it's your vision, and the cool thing is, like, you have three people from SYG, of course, because they are playing with you. You know them the best. You know, it's nobody else. But you're still, and I'm going back to where we started. You're still more a player than a coach, because you still put yourself in that team. Because you know what I want. What I want is that I'm gonna see you this year and next year playing, not coaching, but playing. Yep. Because I saw you coaching, yep. I saw you commentating, but I want to see you playing.
Yeah, and you saw how frustrated I was having to do that. But I think it was necessary. It was necessary for the growth of our sport, because and it helped me see things differently too. Because prior to that, there had been no commentators before.
No,
you know, I was the first one to do any kind of commentary, and it just kind of fell in my lap. Like, I didn't want to do that, but that's just kind of what happened. Like, who else is going to be able to speak on the sport and call a play-by-play other than me? Because when this all started, I mean, from day one, it's like I designed the game, so I understand how it works. I can see the big picture, even though most people, when they watch something happening, they see what's happening in the moment. I can see what's happening everywhere at one time too. So yeah, so then I think for the sport, I sat out. I wanted my team to grow too, and I sat out. In 2020, I was supposed to come back, you know, and you guys everybody saw me training. I wasn't just training for SpeedQB. I was really training the box. You know, not many people know this, but my coach told me, like, Eric, I think you're ready for a real fight. You know, and I'm a little bit older in age where I shouldn't be starting now, but fighting has always been a real big passion of mine. And I never really got to train, but I've always studied it, you know, and like, that was another big goal of mine in 2020. So I was hungry, you know, being in the best shape of my life. And I knew I was going to come back and play on the team. I saw my team lose twice within the span of 1 month. Very, very, very close losses too. You know, one we lost by time, one we lost on a technicality, on a penalty. So no matter what, it's still a loss, and I still take it as a loss. But I know that, and I feel a sense of responsibility that, like, maybe if I was in the field, it would have made a little bit of a difference and pushed us over the top. You know, I'm not saying that I would have made the difference between winning and losing, but I'm just being realistic with myself. And like, I had to sit out, you know, but that also gave me the confidence in knowing that my team grew without me being on the field with them. And I think it's where I need to tip my hat off to them, you know, to Demo, to Roosta, Marty, Dom, you know, even Lefty. They grew, you know, at DreamHack.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I saw them become men, pretty much. Like, I always saw them as like, oh, yeah, oh, like the kids. You know, I used to call them the kids when we first picked them up. And then after that, I don't call them that anymore. You know?
That's it. I remember, and I said it to Sosa too, last episode, that moment when you came into the DreamHack, for me, that was great. I mean, it was SYG, one of the biggest names came there, but I saw that thing on you all guys too, you know, that face there, like, it was great. Let's be honest. It felt like you were a gladiator in an arena, and, but even there, I mean, landing, I know what tough time you had, because you had to stay there. You couldn't sleep for 36 hours because you had to stay in LA because the guns couldn't come over. And I was so feeling for you on that moment. And then the guys came over.
Well, you know what? I still live for those moments. Even though it's hard, I like that. I like it when life gets like that. Just chaotic. And like, it just feels like, but so much is happening, you know, like, no, I love travel no matter what happens when it's,
yeah,
you know, if it's a setback. I'm the kind of person, you know, I moved around a lot in my life, so I don't like to stay still too long. I don't like to, you know, this whole period, because of COVID, has been very, very difficult for me. You know, I went kind of crazy in the beginning because I don't like to stay still. I like to go places, I like to see things. I like to experience other cultures. I like to, you know.
Tell me something. It's crazy. It's making me crazy. It's making me older, and I'm getting crazy. And if it's not, I mean it. It needs to end. It really needs to end. If it's not gonna end, I'm gonna be a rebel. I don't know what, but I'm gonna put my fingers up and say, I'm gonna do exactly what I want to do, because I can't hold it anymore that longer. It's over. I want to have the DreamHacks back. I want to have the global tournament this year. It needs to be happen, and I'm gonna do everything to make it happen. Even if it's the 29th or the 30th of December, I'm gonna do everything to make it happen. So yeah, but DreamHack again. And one thing I never forget, I never forget, was your face when they play. I was in the field, and I always watched, because you were on top and you were sitting with Jimmy, and I knew you were on that field with the guys, but you couldn't there because you couldn't coach them, and because you were commentating. And on that moment, I really thought, he doesn't like his spot on this moment. He really doesn't like his spot.
It wasn't easy, that's for sure. I mean, at no point did I, I had the confidence in them. It's just like, I felt like I couldn't actually do anything about it, So it had nothing to do with like how I felt about the team's performance. It was more like, now I know. Now I have that fuel to go back. Because to be honest, I think it's fair to say I needed a little bit of a break too. So like that's why I channeled my energy towards like the commentating and like for an entire season, in LA and then Rotterdam, and then even when I came back after Rotterdam, I had to commentate for the LA championships. And I had to watch all that happen too. And you were there too, So I had to watch my team lose in Europe. Then I had to watch my team lose based on a penalty when I knew we were going to destroy them, So it was kind of hard to experience. If it was like they dominated my team and we lost, I'd accept that. But we lost based off a penalty, and they didn't outplay us, And I think they, LTD's second team knew that, because we soundly, we beat LTD1 in 2018 soundly. We beat them in 2019. They weren't even in the finals. Union beat them too, and I think Union might have eliminated them from the finals. So I wanted to be able to defeat both of their teams in one tournament, and I don't know, the officiating and the refereeing at that event was iffy at most. So, penalty's a penalty, and we lost for that reason. And what's past is past. But next season I look forward to getting that belt.
Let's go. And
getting what's rightfully ours.
Let's go for that. Let's go for that. I'm gonna finish now because we are already almost 2 hours there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 2 episodes of this one. So hey Eric, as you know, when we stop this Bert to the Bone, you always have the chance to ask me some questions. So this moment is there now. So if you have some questions that you would like to ask me, it's
So I think you and I have been talking a lot about dreams.
Yeah.
I want to know, when you were 11 years old, what did you want to be?
Oh,
what was your dream in life to become when you were 11? Or just around that age, 11, 12, 13, when you were just about to become a teenager?
It's, to be honest, that's a very tough question, to be honest. I think at that age, I didn't made up what I wanted to be. With me, that really came when I was older. So when I was 11, the only dream I had, I think, was that my mom would please stop pushing me playing the accordion. That was that was one of my dreams. So, but no, I think I really had a dream. One of my first dream I ever had, and I don't know why. It was just a simple old dream that a lot of boys had, and I wanted to be a pilot. That was one of my earliest dreams I remember. So, but that changed when I was 17 or 18 years. Yeah, but there it was. I think that's my dream. I remember in that age, I wanted to be a pilot. Yeah. Don't ask me why.
Wow.
So
no, it makes a lot of sense too. I mean, like if you think of it, flying as a metaphor. I mean, like there's one course, right? Like in order to take off, you got to go.
Yep.
Right. So I really think like that's why I want to ask you, because like I think just because we don't become what we think what we want to, like it's still a part of us, even though we grow older. You know, so I think in a way you are a pilot. You know, like you are flying something and taking people somewhere. So
that's a nice.
Your dream came true.
That's a nice metaphor. Yeah, it is. It's yeah, it is. So you got one more? I'm getting off easier.
Maybe think of a hard question.
Oh, you're not prepared. Oh my gosh.
Well, no, I had some questions, but I feel like it's a little too easy and too lighthearted. So I'm gonna try to think of something a little bit more provocative.
That's a good reason. That's cool.
Okay, I got one.
You got one? All right.
Same question, but you're a father.
Yeah.
What do you want your son to become?
My sons.
Your sons, yeah.
I've got.
Or if you had, yeah.
To be honest, I mean, I've got 3 sons. You only saw my 2 little. You only saw my 2 little sons. Yeah. I've got 3 sons. My oldest son is getting 29 in August. So I've got an older son.
I never met your older son.
No, you never.
Oh.
And it's Dylan. So my 2 little ones who are still home. So one is already 13 and the other one is 9. They are getting old. It's growing like. Ugh. But your question was, what do I want to?
I guess like while we're on the same subject, like what would you? Because you said your mom wanted you to play musical instruments. Like if you could pick, like ideally, like
a job for
what
them.
would you want your?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you want your sons to become? I guess.
Yeah.
Or
It's gonna be. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna give you the question now. Like as long as they are happy, and no, I'm not. So I'm gonna give you an honest question. I hope that they are smart enough to think, and where I can help. From even if you're 9 or 10 years old, that you are possible. Because sometimes I have some conversations with them and try to bring them into the future. So what I hope is that they are in the age like D'Angelo is 30 now. What I'm trying to do now is give him some examples so he can see what he can be in now and the next coming 10 years, because his decisions are here now. I'm a parent who will never make a decision for them. So what I'm doing sometimes is reflecting the future to them. So what I expect of the future, like my future when I was young is completely different as the future as there is now. So what I think is that you have to be responsible for anything you're going to do in life, because you're going to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, doesn't matter what, and you're going to get a family. So how would you like to build that family and that dream and combine this with something you really like to do? And that is the most important thing. So if you're going to do this and you're going to do this as a dishwasher, you cannot give your kids or anything that you wish you want. So if you're going to think about this and you want to be bigger, what I really want for them is that they don't have to work that hard and go through a lot of things that I did, that I needed to do, because I'm coming from a working family, and I did so. I really hope that they make a smart choice, and that they pick the easy way, because I'm doing this for many reasons, but one of the reasons why I do this is for my kids, and I hope they pick it up somewhere. It doesn't matter what. I mean, that's why I'm having a very variety of things in my business, and I hope one of these things they can pick up and specialize in one of them and being happy. That's what I wish. And it's not that I have to make my dream come true, but that I hope that there is something that I'm doing now that they can pick up and make their life happy. And because that's the reason I stopped 4 years ago with the job I did, because that's too old. And that's why I started, that's why I'm so into this, into sport, because sport is one of the most beautiful things in the world to do. And that's why my whole soul and everything is in here, to do something in sport and create something and build something. And I really hope that if I may choose, that they're going to pick one of the things, of the many things that I'm putting there now, that makes their life happy. So that's yeah.
Great answer. I'm glad you didn't say something very specific.
No,
because that's cool. Yeah, I was trying to think of like very more personal questions and not anything airsoft related. That's you and I always. That's the only thing we ever talk about. So
yeah.
Nice to ask you a personal question like that.
Yeah, it's. I think I had many personal questions to you today, so it's honest that you can ask some personal questions to me. Now I have to put my glasses back on. So, no more questions?
I think we'll leave it at that.
Okay, then I have the last questions. You know how they go, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. It's just one of those that you're gonna pick, and
yeah, I know what you mean.
Neon Genesis Evangelion or Ghost in the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell. All day.
Charcoal pencil or Wacom?
I still love traditional stuff, so I'm gonna say charcoal pencil.
Art or design?
I still like art more.
Clams or shrimps?
Clams.
Pink or purple?
Pink.
RGB or CMYK?
I'm gonna say RGB. That might come as a surprise, but RGB.
Paris or New York?
New York. I've never been to Paris.
Rice or fries?
Rice or fries? Rice.
Basketball or baseball?
Oh man, that's tough. I played more basketball, but there's something inside me that still really loves baseball. It's a part of my childhood, so baseball.
Kung Fu or kickboxing?
Kickboxing.
Jennifer Lopez or Ariana Grande?
Jennifer Lopez.
Soft or hard?
Hard.
OG or hero?
Say that again?
OG or hero?
OG.
A fan or a superstar?
A fan or a superstar? Superstar.
San Francisco or Miami?
Miami.
Lexus or BMW?
BMW.
Genius or miracle?
Genius.
Right or left?
Right.
Beer or wine?
Beer. I answered that way too fast. Sorry.
That was too fast. Okay, I think this is an easy one.
I'm learning to love wine though. I'm trying to get into it.
Okay. Then the other question, Budweiser or Heineken?
Heineken.
And that's worst beer over here, you know that?
Yeah, I heard it's the worst, but Budweiser's the worst beer over here. So. Heineken is still, I don't know, even amongst Asian people, Heineken is very popular too. So I always remember, yeah.
Yeah, I know, because but it's that's cool thing over here because we hate the shit that we have here. But the last one, the younger and later the older.
Oh wait, what was the question?
No. The one, but I'm just having the younger. It's gone. DJ or Unit Young. Yeah, no, not Unit. Union Young.
What context though? That's such a tough question.
That's it. DJ. There's the last one. Piggy or Sapo?
Oh, Sapo.
Okay, I want to finish that with that because here was the other one because I wanted to know if it's Piggy or Sapo. But the question what I was here was Piggy or CKB Junkie.
I've known Figgy for so long. If you're asking me to, I don't know what the context is, but I still have to pick Figgy at this point.
That's it. Those are the questions, my friend. And
awesome.
It's Eric, I really enjoyed it, and I really have to make 2 episodes of this one because we have more than 2 hours talk. So
thanks. I was surprised. I'm surprised you didn't dig anything up about my past.
Listen,
not because you know, a lot of my life existed before the internet, so I was curious what you were going to be able to find. But you didn't seem to find too much, so.
No, not yet. But there is much to come. You know, the time that we're going to learn each other now, and not you, but I'm going to learn the people around you. So next time I'm going to ask people much more about Eric and Eric Chang. But no, I mean, there is not that much that I think there were some nice things that we already thought, but I think that I love you as a person. I love you as an artist, and the only thing I can say to you is that the way how we working now in the last months, I hope we're gonna continue that way, and we're gonna show the world that we're not doing blah blah. We're gonna do boom boom.
Yeah, bang bang.
Bang,
I mean,
bang.
That's what people need to understand. Like we're working together. This is a worldwide thing. You know, there's no separation between one country or the other. You know, pretty soon there's multiple countries in this. So this is a global sport, and everybody involved or anybody who is kind of interested and just maybe needs that extra push to get into it, just understand that we have the right people working on this. It's the perfect storm of creative people and people who execute. And yeah, like Bert said, we're working very close together. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on every level, you know, and without having to address too much of our competition, they're going to have a hard time keeping up, you know? So I think we're just focused on what we're doing, and I think everybody else is focused on what we're doing too.
That's it. So let them, as long as every time, Eric, and I told you that, and everybody now who's looking live, the one thing that we like to do is this. I'm not saying anything after that.
Yep. This is what we're about.
We like to watch what's behind us. So as long as they follow us, yep, we don't care. So Eric,
yep,
thank you very much for being open, and thank you very much for being here. And I really enjoyed it. And to be honest,
thank you, Bert.
I know things now about you that I didn't know. So thanks for sharing that. And you're my friend. I hope to see you soon. And I hope we can see you and not as a coach, but as a player on the field this year.
Oh yeah, I'll be a coach on the field this time.
Eric, thank you very much, my friend. Have a good, nice weekend.
Thank you, Bert.
And hope to see you soon, my friend. Peace.
Likewise,
Bye-bye.
peace.